I'm 93. I called my lawyer this morning. My family has no idea what is coming. The call lasted 11 minutes. William answered on the second ring. He always does. That's why I've kept him for 43 years. "Eleanor," he said. His voice had that particular quality it gets when he knows I'm not calling to ask about the weather. "I need you to draft something," I told him. Silence. 3 seconds. Then, "What kind of something?" "The kind that can't be undone." He didn't ask me if I was sure. William stopped asking me if I was sure in 1987, when I fired my son-in-law from the family company, and he tried to argue that I was being emotional. I wasn't being emotional. I was being correct. The company is worth $47 million today. My son-in-law works at a Lexus dealership in Tampa. William knows better than to ask. That was this morning. 6:47 a.m. Now it's 3:15 p.m. and I'm sitting in my chair by the window, watching my granddaughter's car pull into the driveway. She's early. She's never early. Let me tell you what happens when you turn 93 and you still have all your money. Your family starts showing up, not because they want to see you, because they want to see if you're still capable of signing your name, if you still remember their birthdays, if you still know what year it is. They're checking. Every visit is an audit. My granddaughter, Melissa, she's 28. She works in marketing. I have asked her 4 times what that means, and I have received 4 different answers. Last month, she told me she optimizes brand visibility across digital platforms. The month before that, she said she creates content strategies for emerging markets. What she does is take photographs of herself and post them on the internet, and somehow this generates income. I'm 93. I ran a textile company for 31 years. We made fabric. People bought fabric. The transaction was simple. I do not understand my granddaughter's job, but I understand why she's here. 2 weeks ago, she came for Sunday lunch, brought her boyfriend. His name is Trevor. Trevor wore a hat indoors. I did not like Trevor. During lunch, Melissa asked me if I'd thought about estate planning. She used those exact words. Estate planning. My granddaughter is 28 years old, and she's asking me about estate planning while eating the chicken I roasted. I asked her if the chicken was dry. She said no. I said good, because I'd hate to think I was losing my ability to cook a chicken at the same time I was apparently losing my ability to manage my own affairs. Trevor took his hat off. Melissa hasn't asked about estate planning since, but she started visiting more. Every week now, sometimes twice a week. Last Tuesday, she brought me flowers. I thanked her. I put them in water. After she left, I looked at the receipt in the grocery bag she'd forgotten on the counter. The flowers cost $12. I have $47 million. My granddaughter brought me $12 flowers and stayed for 90 minutes and asked me 3 times if I was feeling okay, and twice if I'd talked to my doctor recently. She wasn't visiting, she was monitoring. Here's what nobody tells you about living to 93. You become valuable and worthless at the same time. Valuable because of what you have. Worthless because you're in the way of them getting it. I see how they look at me now. Not at me. Through me. At the house. At the furniture. At the paintings on the wall. And the jewelry in the bedroom. And the stock certificates. And the bank statements. And the life insurance policy. They're doing math while I'm telling stories about 1952. My son, Melissa's father, he called me last week. We hadn't spoken in 6 months. He called to tell me he was concerned about me living alone. I've lived alone since Harold died in 1996, 29 years. But now my son is concerned. He suggested a facility. A nice one, he said, where you'd be around people. I asked him how much a nice facility costs. He said that wasn't the point. I said it was absolutely the point. Later means when I'm too tired to argue. Later means when I'm too confused to read the paperwork. My son drives a Range Rover. He has never asked me how I'm sleeping. He has never asked me what I'm reading. But he's very concerned about whether I'm safe. Safe means, has she signed anything yet? I made a decision 6 months ago. I didn't tell anyone. I started watching, really watching. The way you watch when you're trying to figure out who someone actually is, instead of who you've been pretending they are for 30 years. I watched my granddaughter take a phone call during lunch and step outside for 25 minutes. I watched my daughter-in-law walk through my living room and touch the painting above the fireplace. She wasn't asking because she liked it. She wanted to know what it was worth. $85,000. I bought it in 1973 for $300 because I liked the light in it. That's the difference. I bought things because I like them. They want things because they're worth something. So this morning at 6:47 a.m., I called William, and I told him what I wanted. I'm leaving the house to the church on Maple Street, the one with the leaky roof and 12 people on a good Sunday. The money, $47 million, goes to a trust for first-generation college students. Students who understand what money is for. My son gets $5,000. Melissa gets $5,000. My daughter-in-law gets nothing. The will is irrevocable. William files it Monday. I'm not doing this to hurt them. I'm doing this because they've already decided I'm gone. They look at me, and they see an inheritance that's taking too long to process. They don't see me. And if they can't see me while I'm here, they don't get to profit from me when I'm not. Melissa is walking up the front steps now. She's carrying something. Looks like another bag of groceries. Probably more $12 flowers. She'll come in, and she'll smile, and she'll ask me how I'm feeling, and she'll stay for exactly 90 minutes, and then she'll leave, and she'll text her father, and she'll say, "Grandma seems good. A little slower maybe. But sharp. Sharp. That's the word they use. As long as I'm sharp, they have to wait. What they don't understand is that I'm sharper now than I've ever been. I see everything. I see the flowers that cost $12. I see the visits that last 90 minutes. I see the phone calls that get answered outside. I see the questions about estate planning. I see the concerned suggestions about facilities. I see the future they're planning without asking me if it's the future I want. And I've made a different plan. One they'll find out about when it's too late to argue. When it's too late to convince me I'm confused. When it's too late to hire a different lawyer or challenge my competence or tell me that I don't understand what I'm doing. I understand exactly what I'm doing. I'm making sure that the last decision about my life is actually mine. That's what William is drafting right now. That's the order I gave this morning at 6:58 a.m., while Melissa was probably still asleep, and my son was probably checking the stock market, and my daughter-in-law was probably deciding which of my paintings she wants. None of them. The answer is, none of them. There's a knock on the door. Melissa's voice. "Grandma, it's me." Of course it's you. It's always you. Every week now. Showing up, checking in, making sure I'm still competent enough to sign, but not competent enough to change anything. I'll let her in. I'll accept the flowers or the groceries or whatever small gesture she's brought to justify this audit. I'll smile. I'll offer her tea. We'll sit in the living room under the painting she doesn't know I'm giving away, and she'll ask me how I'm feeling, and I'll say, "Sharp, dear, very sharp." And I'll mean it, because at 93, I'm sharper than I've been in 30 years. Sharp enough to see what they're doing. Sharp enough to do something about it. Sharp enough to make sure that, when I'm gone, they'll finally see me. Not as an estate to be divided, but as a woman who saw them clearly and decided they hadn't earned it. The knock again. Grandma? Coming, sweetheart. I'm coming. Let me just finish this tea. It's chamomile. I made it this morning right after I got off the phone with William. It tastes like victory.